Welcome to the fourth video of section 2. This one is on the metric system, and this is really a brief reintroduction to the metric system because I know you have had this multiple times in the past, and this is just meant to refresh your memory. If you're going to measure something, you need a standard to compare it to. The English system, the system used in the United States, is not probably one of the better systems going. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Let's see, if you're going to measure length, the inch. 12 inches gives you a foot, but 3 feet gives you a yard. So there's no real consistency. You look at volume, you've got an ounce, but 16 ounces makes 1 pint, 2 pints makes 1 quart, but 4 quarts makes a gallon. The quarts make sense because a quart is a quarter of a gallon, but everything else, no rhyme or reason. So why do we use it? Because when England ruled the waves and the English Empire was the largest in the world, as you can see here in the red area, the English system was spread around the world. It became the units for world commerce. In 1799, a better system was proposed, and this was actually an outcropping of the French Revolution, and they used natural standards. They looked at things they could measure in nature and used those as the basis. But nobody likes change, and by 1812, we were back to the previous system. However, in 1837, in France, there was a move to revive the metric system, and by the 1850s, it was accepted by the majority of the scientific community because it was very consistent and easy to work with. There were base units that were the same everywhere. The conversions were easy, and the conversions were the same for all units. The conversion to go from meters to millimeters was the same conversion as needed to go from liters to milliliters. It's based on the decimal system, which is base 10, which means all of the conversions are multiplying by some factor of 10. So now in the world, when you look at the red, you see Myanmar, Liberia, and the United States, and those are the only 3 countries in the world where the English system is the base system. Myanmar makes up 0.74% of the world's population, Liberia a whopping 0.056%, and the US of A makes up 4.4% of the world population. So to put it in simpler terms, 94.8% of the world uses the metric system, and the English system is used by 5.20%. And it has been calculated that the United States loses lots of business worldwide because of their insistence on the English system. There is one instance where the US has adopted the metric system, and that's in our soda bottles. You tend to buy your soda now in either 1 liter or 2 liter bottles, and this has actually helped sell soda around the world, for good or for bad. There are 7 base units in the metric system. We're only going to use 5, and out of those 5, we're actually going to modify 2 of them. You know these units. Well, you know 4 out of the 5. For distance, the base unit is the meter, and it is abbreviated small m, and a meter is just a little bit bigger than a yard. For volume, it's the liter. This is its abbreviation, and a liter is just about a quart. Mass is the kilogram, which has this abbreviation, and it's 2.2 pounds equals 1 kilogram. For count, we use the mole. This is the new one for you. Now, for some reason, some genius decided that 4 letters, M-O-L-E, were just too much to write out, so the mole is abbreviated M-O-L. Luckily, we don't have to write that 4th letter. Saves us tons of time. And lastly, temperature, which is the Kelvin, abbreviated K, not degree K, and 0 Kelvin is absolute 0. Now, I said we were going to modify 2 of these, and the first one we're going to modify is the kilogram, because we're going to tend to use the gram, because we're not going to be using 2.2 pounds of material. We'll be using a lot less than that, so we will tend to use the gram, and the gram is abbreviated G. For temperature, we will eventually use the Kelvin, but for right now we're going to use Celsius, which can also be called centigrade, which is degree centigrade. The multiples of units can be written as powers of 10, and here's a chart showing this. Some of these you know. You know giga. You know how many gigs are on your various devices. Well, giga is a billion of something. Mega is a million. The three in red, kilo, centi, and milli, you're going to have to memorize. And so when you memorize, you get 1 kilo of anything is 1,000 of that thing. So for example, 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. 2.5 kilojoules is 2,500 joules. 100 centi-x equals 1x. So for example, 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. 375 centiseconds equals 3.75 seconds. And the last one you have to memorize is milli. 1,000 milli equals 1x. So 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter. 755 millikelvin is 0.755 Kelvin. That's your quick review of the metric system. In the next video, how to convert between the various units will be discussed and shown. It's really quite simple. And once again, you will only have to memorize 3 conversions: kilo, centi, and milli. There are no worksheets for this part, so I would recommend that you go straight to the next video.